Hi, this is a review of the Hidrau Pneumatic piano bench. I've been using this for a few months now, and I noticed that when I went to purchase it, there weren't many videos demonstrating and giving information about it on YouTube. So I thought I'd just share a little bit here in case someone is interested in making a purchase. Maybe they can have a little bit more information on this. This bench is manufactured in Spain. It's imported into the United States by a company called PianoWorks. Never heard of PianoWorks until I started researching this bench, but I found that the experience of doing business with them was fantastic. So I'm going to leave a link to PianoWorks' website so you can check them out and look at their inventory. They're out of Georgia. But I found that their pre-sales and post-sales service was wonderful, and I would highly encourage you to, if you are interested in purchasing this bench, buy from them with confidence. This is a pneumatic design, and it actually has about a 5-inch range from about 17 3/4 inch to 23 inches, so about 5 1/4 inch range, and it's pretty instantaneous. Just lift up on the levers and you go all the way up, and with a minimal amount of effort, you come back down. So it really has a wide range, and it can accommodate if you have multiple people playing piano in your home, go up and down effortlessly. If you're a teacher at a school, or if you're using this and there's just a lot of people that need adjustments when they're playing it. Compared to this wonderful Jensen Artist Petite bench that I have, which has a traditional worm gear mechanism, and this has about 3 inches of range from 18 to 21 inches. And you gotta really crank on this. Just to get that full range of 3 inches, it takes me about 40 seconds to go 3 inches up. And by the time I'm done, my wrist is a little bit tired and fatigued, so I'm certainly not ready to play the piano at that point. But it still is a very reliable design, and it's never going to break. This is going to be solid, whereas I guess the potential exists for these pneumatic designs to leak air. I mean, it simply is just cylinders that are pressurized with air with seals. So I guess theoretically you can go to sit down on this bench someday and it doesn't work, where that you would never have that problem with the Jensen mechanism. But I guess that probably the failure rate is probably very low on these, otherwise they wouldn't be selling so many of them and using them in such varying contexts, from the concert halls to the conservatories to the teachers' studios and to to my basement. So I think that should be a pretty solid design. We'll see how that lasts. This bench costs $600 new, but I'll tell you how you can get $50 off on it. Josh Wright, if you go to his YouTube channel, has uploaded a comparative analysis video of the various size models that Hidrau offers. And in his description, he gave a link or a code for 10% off if you buy this bench through PianoWorks. So I'll leave a link in my description so you can look at that comparative analysis video by Josh Wright. You can use the 10% code, and essentially you can get this bench delivered to you in the United States for $550, which is not a bad price for a high-end piano bench such as this. But what really makes this piano bench unique, and the reason why I purchased it, is because of the different options you have in the top design options. You can get it with a flat top design, which according to the Hidrau catalog is about 2 3/4 inch of foam, or you can get it in this ergonomic top design. And the ergonomic top design is, and there's no difference in cost between the flat top and the ergo top. It's the same price, just different options. But the ergo top, PianoWorks was kind enough to send me a cutout, a cross-section cutout of the ergonomic top. And as you can see, there is a wedge-shaped piece of foam, high-density wedge-shaped piece of foam on the bottom, covered by a comfort piece of foam on the top. And according to the Hidrau catalog, it's supposed to go from 3 1/2 inches down to 3 inches. But as I've measured it at home, I've only seen it go from 3 inches to about 2 1/2 inches. But either way, you have this nice wedge-shaped design. And why that's important, let me demonstrate using the Jensen Artist bench, this flat top design. It's a little bit easier. When we sit down, we're prone sometimes to having bad posture. And you will probably see people playing the piano, and they'll have this kind of classic thoracic flexion where their shoulders kind of roll inward, or maybe they're a little bit hunched back, and their head has to come up to compensate in this kind of craned neck position. And it's a very poor posture position to be in. I even see people walking around like that, hunched back. And you're just going to invite problems, pain, especially as you get older in life. So that's something you got to take into consideration. And I'm an athletic person. I do exercises regularly to strengthen my back, to have good posture. So that's not a problem for me. But what was a problem for me was in the lower back, in the lower lumbar spine. If you're sitting down playing the piano, sometimes you have a tendency, I would have a tendency to collapse my lower lumbar spine like this, into this posterior pelvic tilt position. And that's not a comfortable position to be in. If you are in that position for a very long time, you're going to experience pain and problems. And, you know, if your mother ever told you when you were growing up, sit up straight, she was right. It's really important to have good posture. Because when we start collapsing, when we start rolling, we're just inviting pain, especially as we get older. And here's where the ErgoTop comes in and helps to facilitate good posture when you're sitting down at the piano. So because of this wedge-shaped design, you automatically are put in this forward canted position ever so slightly. And it's not natural, it doesn't feel as natural to collapse the spine, the lower lumbar spine, in this position. See, in the flat top, you already automatically have gravity working against you, and you just want to naturally do that. And I would do that over time. But here in this wedge-shaped top, it helps me to stay in a more properly postured position without having to think about it. And I've noticed as I've been using this that I don't have the fatigue in my lower back and the strain in my lower back after 2 months of using this that I had with the flat top design, because I don't have to consciously think as much about staying in the proper position. My body is naturally encouraged to stay in that proper position. So I found that as an important factor in comfort for me playing the piano. And that's why I'm sticking with this bench as my primary bench from here on out. So that's a pretty important difference. Let me just talk briefly about the material. I originally purchased this bench with a vinyl top, but I wasn't happy with it. The vinyl I felt was too spongy. Maybe it's because the vinyl is so thin, but you just really sunk into it too much. And I wasn't happy with it. And I wasn't going to keep it. But PianoWorks was kind enough to send me a leather top to try out. Now, the leather top is a $150 increase in the price, which isn't that bad compared to, like, if you're going to upgrade this Jensen Artist bench with the Tuft vinyl to a Tuft leather top, it'd be about double that cost, almost $300. So I figured I'll try out the leather top and just see if it's any different. And really, it was a lot different. I did a comparative analysis video between the leather and vinyl top. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description. But the long story short is that it's just more firm. And so if you like a firmer feeling, like you're sitting more on top of the bench and not sinking into it, you definitely would like the leather over the vinyl. So PianoWorks was kind enough to send that out to me. I shipped them the vinyl back. I attached this leather top, which is just attached to the base with 4 screws. It's real easy. And I've been really thoroughly satisfied with it. So if you are considering this bench, I would highly encourage you to consider the Ergonomic top, which for me, that's the only reason really why I wanted to try this bench, to help facilitate better posture and less fatigue when sitting at the piano for protracted periods of time. And you might want to consider an upgrade to the leather, which does cost a little bit more, but if you like a firmer top, the leather will definitely give that. You won't sink into it as much. It looks better and it feels better too, but the comfort is what's most important. There's 3 things that I need out of a piano bench. It has to be comfortable, it has to be quiet, and it has to be solid. It can't move around at all. And this meets all 3 of those factors. It's comfortable, especially with the ergonomic top. It's quiet. It doesn't make any noises, rattles, squeaks, nothing. And it's solid. It doesn't move around at all. And that's important. So I'm very grateful that I have a bench that can satisfy my needs. And I'm thankful for PianoWorks for patiently working with me to help me become a satisfied customer. So I'm really happy with this bench. Definitely consider the Ergo top for sure, and possibly even the leather upgrade if you like a firmer feel to the top. So hopefully this video will help you if you're considering replacing your bench, upgrading your bench, or going with one of these Hidrau pneumatic benches. And maybe you found this interesting. I want to thank you for watching. God bless.